couldn't we show you about Aliester Crowley?
You can turn back now, or learn the stuff they don't want you to know.
Hi, that's Matt behind the camera. I'm Ben. That makes this Stuff They Don't Want You to Know. This week, Matt and I covered magic. Now, that's a huge term. That's an umbrella term that describes literally tens of thousands of beliefs, practices, rituals, processes, cultures, folklore, pantheons, superstitions, traditions. There's even some cooking in there. What I'm saying is that this is a lot to cover in one episode. So we decided to also drill down and become a little bit more specific. We looked at someone that you've asked us to cover for a long time now. That is the Great B666, the wickedest man in the world, according to some. That's right, Aliester Crowley, or Crowley, however you want to say it. This guy is probably one of the only things that people would agree on about this guy is that this magician is controversial. Some people think that he was simply a confidence man, beguiling the gullible and the credulous to, follow him, do what he wants, an arc manipulator like Charles Manson. But then other people say that, whoa, he was a legitimate magician, and that his later harrowing turns into darkness and drug addiction and all that stuff came as a result of his encounters with supernatural forces. One thing we mentioned in our previous episode is that he left something called the Abramelin ritual, which takes like 6 months. He left it early, and apparently that ritual is enormously dangerous because if you do leave it early, and if, assuming all of this stuff is true, then you leave yourself open to the influence of hellish forces, literally hellish forces. So you can check out some documentaries for more information about Crowley or Crowley to see what you think about this input from skeptics and demonologists alike. However, he did continue practicing magic and telling other people to practice magic throughout his entire life. So it's pretty safe for us to say that if he was a confidence man, if he was manipulating people, he believed it. He believed it just the way that Merlin in A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court also believes his magic. Well, Mark Twain reference for you there. But let's get to the meat of it. What could we not show you? So much stuff. There was so much stuff that we had to cut out of the episode because we could not find a way to visually depict it in a way that YouTube would allow us to. I mean, we're talking pretty dark stuff. We're talking self-harm, harming other people. We're talking about some pretty graphic and I think in some places pretty illegal sex. I mean, like bestiality. It was nuts. And the thing is that a lot of the stuff that this guy, Aliester Crowley, or Crowley, was practicing would best be described as sex magic. If you believe in magic, then this means that this kind of has its own internal logic, right? Because the power of the energy that people feel during sexual activities seems that it has enormous potential, and if you could channel that somehow into magical workings, then sure. Believe for you. But if you're a skeptic, then it just seems like another way to, I don't know, spice up the bedroom. So we had unfortunately found ourselves in a situation where a lot of the stuff that was fascinating had to be just sort of mentioned or touched upon. And even now in this video, we can't show you. I'm not going to show you. Matt, are you going to? But what we are going to do is tell you that you can find more information about this. You can actually find a copy of some of Alister's works if you would like to read them for yourself. You can find some of the grimoires or copies of the grimoires, magical books upon which some of the Hermetic Order's teachings and some of Crowley's teachings were also based. You can watch numerous documentaries right here on YouTube from various perspectives and let us know what you think. Now, I've got a quote here at the back, a quotation by Arthur C. Clarke, and it says, "Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic." And this had us thinking, and we'd like to ask this question to you. Do you believe in the supernatural? And if you do, Do you think it's possible that these things that appear to be ghosts or demons or acts of clairvoyance and other magical ritual, do you believe that there's some sort of scientific principle behind it that we've yet to find? Also, side note, I watched Event Horizon again recently. I don't care what anybody says. I love that thing. Oh, and one last thing. Matt and I would like to give a huge shout out to Lloyd Kane. You specifically asked us to give you a shout out, sir, over on the Facebooks, and this is your shout out. You can also contact us, guys, if you would like us to give you a shout out. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook. You can send us an email directly. We are conspiracy@discovery.com. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, and next week, right? You know how you'll see people who have advertisements for gold, right? Oh, put all your money in gold. Put all your money in gold. The world is collapsing. How much of that is true? And why do we use gold in the first place? Tune in and find out next week.